It was a moonlit night. Henry was taking a goods train to the station by the lake. "Whenever that owl hoots, a mist rolls in," murmured Edward. "There's a legend that when the mist's about, there's a ghost about too."
Whoa, 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 whoa. Since when did Edward become a myth talker? I know he's wise, but he's also this too? I could kinda see it, but what's the reasoning behind that supposed legend? And as much as Henry thought Edward was blowing smoke, it came true like he had predicted.
"It's an amber lamp," murmured his driver. "That means proceed with caution." "Who's there?" No one replied. Henry crept slowly forward.
Further down the line, they ended up finding a sign that said, "Beware the viaduct." You mean the only viaduct we are aware of? And what on earth are we watching? We went from bright and sunny happy children's programming to downright unnerving. Not that I'm complaining. It's just, gosh, the tone is an exact 180-degree turn from that of any other season we've watched before. Mind you, we are only a minute in.
No one warned us about that before. And look, the signal's red. And the gates are closed. And there's a fogman's coat. But where is its owner? Then they saw a light move within the station building. Ghosts!
Maybe? Is that station even operable? Because that's the Hohen Lake station that George the Steamroller worked at a few stories back. Either way, something didn't seem right, and Henry's crew did not feel comfortable moving forward. So they retreated and decided to try another night.
Later that day, he spoke to Henry. "The viaduct has been repaired. We can take our train back along the old line tonight." Henry really didn't want to. But when nightfall came, he was sizzling nicely. Suddenly, an owl hooted.
Oh great, we all know what that foreshadows. And of course, the trucks thought it was hilarious. But what viaduct is Henry's driver talking about? If he means the viaduct, the repairs were done all the way back in Season 2. Besides, I really don't think this area was ever close to the classic viaduct we all know of. But just like Edward had said, once the owl hooted, everything reverted back to its original factory myth settings.
A little later, the fog came down. As they approached the same area, they saw the amber light again. "Here we go," said Henry's driver.
What? This music! Mike O'Donnell and Junior Campbell, you guys are outdoing yourselves. This whole scene is getting super tense, and the creepy tones just enhance it even more. Speaking of getting spooked, the trucks weren't laughing anymore either. And somehow they were able to pull Henry and blast through the gates.
A mysterious figure watched Henry go by. Ahead was a landslide blocking the line. Henry braked hard, but the freight cars hit some of the rubble and plunged into the ravine.
Jesus, that was close. If Henry was in front, forget it. Crew never would have been able to fix him. As it turns out, though, the figurine silhouette in the window was a fogman by the name of Old Bailey, who both the driver and fireman knew. But if that was the case, how did they not recognize his coat hanging on the tree earlier? Since he's the only fogman and all, also consider those trucks smashed, bashed, and broken. Sure, their faces are still intact, but they aren't living. Right. Aside from the mess, though, Old Bailey did have one request.
"I'd like to operate that old station. If you let me, I promise I won't spook Henry again." And in a little while, Old Bailey's wish was granted. "You and your station will be really useful," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Let's hear a hearty thank you to the friendliest, ghost on the island." Everyone cheered, especially Henry, who was the happiest of all.
I still have questions to this story, but my god, this was a spooky episode if we haven't seen one since Season 2's Ghost Train. And this is another story about Henry, and it's gloriously done. That and Alec Baldwin's narration was perfect here, as well as the voice for Old Bailey. I also have a soft spot for this story because I saw it in the home video Spills and Chills and Other Thomas Thrills. Seasons 1, 3, and now 5 have been determined to have great Henry stories. I can't help but notice the odd number pattern too. So is Season 7 going to have a good one? Anyhow, the background information to some parts isn't clear, but overall it is quite a change in the usual story shown so far. I don't like how the alleged viaduct that's out of order is never shown, nor does it make sense to me how Henry's crew remember the only person around was Old Bailey, but couldn't make that determination earlier when his coat was clearly left out for them. Come on, guys. Plus, if that Hohen Lake station was closed, or whatever, what's Bailey doing there? Squatting? You homeless bum. All gripes aside though, the haunted atmosphere, music, and tension really make this episode a memorable one. Not only did those trucks suffer a fatality, but I'm sure Henry's eyes fell out. While the locations were largely known, like Wellsworth Station, the old stone bridge was cool to see, and the mangled trees and fog really added to the creepy setting. However, the biggest push received from the experience was the music. Holy Moses, was this music just amazing. While Henry's signature theme is always welcome, this cue will be continuously associated with him now just because how creative and wildly shivering the progression of this piece went. Next episode is Double Teething Troubles. Thanks for watching.